Welcome. Well, here is an ECG guaranteed to quicken your pulse when you see it for the first time in anger. You've got 60 seconds to assess it for me. Look at the ECG carefully, and I particularly want you to look at the ST segments. So remember, you've got your QRS complex here, the last bit being the S wave. I want you to look at the segment between that and the T wave and look to see is there any deviation of the ST segment, either elevation or depression. Also consider, are there any reciprocal changes if you can see ST elevation, and think about which territories the ST elevation or ST depression is in, so which leads and which territories. And then finally, having identified the presence of ST change, look for presence of Q waves or loss of R wave. There is anterolateral ST elevation on this ECG. I've measured it at 8 millimeters, that is drawing a horizontal line to the baseline and to the maximal height of the ST segment and counting the number of small squares. We describe this for the lead with the greatest extent of ST elevation, which here is probably lead V3. Anterolateral because it's affecting leads V2 to V5 and also leads 1 and AVL. So that is anterior leads extending into V5 and lateral leads, lead 1 and AVL. We can see the reciprocal changes in lead 3, which is an inferior lead, and also small Q waves throughout the anterior leads V3 to V6. If you look at the R wave in V1 and V3, we expect to see a gradual progression of increasing R wave as we go across the chest leads. And here you can see that we have lost some of the R wave we would expect to see in V2. So the diagnosis here is of an acute extensive, because the 8 millimeters is a great deal of ST elevation. So an acute because it has only got small Q waves and we've only lost a little bit of R wave. Extensive anterolateral myocardial infarction, and this patient of course needs to have whatever STEMI protocol you work with. Here in Leicester we would put out a STEMI call by calling 2s to switchboard. And this patient needs an urgent primary percutaneous coronary intervention. ST elevation, if you look at the baseline, it is deviation from that baseline here. Elevation in lead 3, you can see there is depression. The different territories are as shown here. We have in red the anterior leads, V1 to V4, and of this V1 and V2 are the anteroceptal leads, the V3 and V4 are the anterior leads. Lateral leads, we have the lateral chest leads, which are V5, V6, and the lateral limb leads, which are leads 1 and AVL, and the inferior leads are 2, 3, and AVF. Thank you very much for watching.